Hey you all, are your prayers big enough? Hey, I'm Melissa with The Simple Life Wife, and I make videos on brain retraining and the goodness of God. So today's going to focus a little more on the Christian side of brain retraining. Are your prayers big enough? And I would say, in general, the Christian population, no, they're not. And I realized mine definitely weren't. Going through this whole healing and brain retraining journey. And so right from the start with my program, we are encouraged to read a half hour a day and pray. Read and pray for at least a half hour a day. And that was one of my favorite things that they required of us to do. And it's such a beautiful thing we should all be doing. So to have it as a requirement was just really helpful. And at one point I was going through the Psalms and praying through them. And it's amazing how much is in there just of how you cry out to the Lord and He helps. You cry out to the Lord and He helps. And it is like balm for the person that's struggling. And so the kids and I have been reading the first Narnia book. Well, we finished it, The Magician's Nephew. And in it, there's a point where, I'm not going to tell the whole story because you don't need to know it for this story, but the main characters are like, why didn't Aslan provide our lunch or our supper for us? Like, he told us to go on this journey, but he didn't give us our supper. And this horse that's with him, which talks, replies, I have this funny feeling that he likes to be asked. Which I just think is good. It's a good picture for, we should be asking God. Something over the past year, I've come to realize is how many Christians are living in defeat over so many things, including health. Just saying that it's God's will and they never ask for anything more. And especially, yeah, when it comes to healing for some reason, at least the circles I'm in. For some reason you just say, oh, it's the Lord's will, and you move on and ask God to help you endure. But why not ask God for more, for bigger things? We don't know what God wants for us. We don't know how He's going to help us, but we know He will help us. You know, God is a person. There are three persons of the Trinity. And so it's not like you ask, you get this, bam, magical. It's not like that, but I think as our loving Heavenly Father, He wants to give us so much more than we are even asking for. I think the main thing to remember with this and asking is that you are waiting for His answer with hopeful expectation. We don't know how He's going to answer, but we know He will answer us, and we know He's good. So it's going to be a good answer. We don't know what the answer is. We really don't. That's the main thing, is don't act like you know how He's going to answer. I think that's where a lot of people go wrong in this. But we do wait with hopeful expectation because we have a good Father that's not going to give us a scorpion when we ask for an egg. That's a Bible verse. But maybe the answer is not exactly how you think it's going to be, but it's going to be good. So I really do feel like He's been transforming my prayer life to just be treating Him more like my loving Father, my beloved husband that really cares and really wants to provide good for me. And just to go to Him expecting good from Him and not just settling with the status quo. Yes, you be content in all circumstances. That's not what I'm saying. Like, with wherever you are, you can be grateful. But ask Him for, as a little girl or a little boy asking their daddy, you know, what are your desires? I mean, assuming that they're godly. And I think if they're not, I think you're going to figure it out when you go to God asking for them. Be like, you usually can't really pray that prayer. So this is just my encouragement to you and all Christians out there, not even just brain retrainers. Ask bigger prayers. You don't need to be living in defeat. God doesn't want you to live in defeat. If you have needs, and desires, bring them to God and expect him to do good. You know, we don't know how he's going to do it, but we know that he does help. Just read through so many Psalms. I mean, it is so encouraging. I think with Christian brain rewiring too, it emphasizes this part of it, because you are giving your cares to God, expecting him to care for it instead of you. And so you're giving it to him and trusting him with it. And maybe that's what we're not doing as a culture as a whole, you know, as a Christian culture. I'm not saying our whole culture is Christian, but just in the Christians that I know, we're not giving our cares to God enough. Maybe we're just settling. We're like, okay, we have these cares, and now we're just going to learn to live with them and be grateful. But we're supposed to give our cares to God because he cares for us, and expect good in return. Okay, see you next time. Bye.